Okay, guys, welcome. Today I'm going to go through some great stories I have from the early days of development from Pow Vista. This right here is the first ever screenshot of Pow Vista, but it's not really a screenshot. It's a photoshopped version of what I thought Pow Vista should be like. I remember it very well. It was a Sunday afternoon, a crisp Sunday. And this was when I was in the deep and the height, I should say, of my closed on Sunday career. But on Sundays, I had to be closed, right? Closed on Sunday. And so my mind was going wild on this Sunday because I was thinking every single video game I download is absolutely pointless and worthless and mindless and has no value. It feels like the game that I want to exist does not exist. Why, when I play RuneScape, do I have to turn my phone sideways and use my little finger to try to tap on the little button I want to tap on? Why is it so difficult? There was a desire to make what at least I thought didn't exist, okay? But you know what? To this day, I'll stand on that. I'll stand on that business right now. I don't think the perfect game exists yet. And I have the gall to think that I can make the perfect game. And here's where it all started. Do you see this amalgamation? We got the skills icon from RuneScape. We got the quest icon from RuneScape. We got a Pokemon map, a DM thing, a little chat thing, an inventory. Inventory is still here to this day. This is what Pow Vista started as in my brain, okay? This was what it was. And we have gotten so far in our venture with this, guys. Thousands of monthly players. A persistent online world you can join. Anyone right now can open up the App Store and play Pow Vista. I have created what I myself wanted 3 years ago on that Sunday afternoon to just chill with my family. We've created the game that we wanted. But we have a way to go to make it the perfect game, right? We really do. And we honestly, I'm just going to be real with you guys if you're listening to this. We have a way to go before we even make an acceptable game. Because the thing is, you go into our game, it's not super clear what to do if you don't have any context. And every game has to have some kind of onboarding process of teaching the player what they're supposed to do. Sadly, we don't have a great version of that right now, but we do have a great game. I really personally love my game, my Pow Vista game. I love it like one of my children. In fact, it is one of my brain children. And but as you can see here, I already had a background. I had ideas for what we were going to do. Okay, I have moves that you're somehow clicking on. I have a character in the middle of the screen that's about the same size as the Pow Vista character is today. I have inventory at the bottom. I have settings. We still don't have a settings in-game button, but you guys get the idea, okay? This is Pow Vista in its purest, unadulterated, original form. This is where it all started. This is the groundbreaking realization I had that this does not exist. Pokemon in an app form like this didn't exist. RuneScape mechanics in the overworld do not exist in a vertical form. Listen. I think we might be the only vertical online game you can play with your friends. I mean, I guess Polytopia you can play, but you know, like an online world, like a real online world that you can go in, you have stats. We've made it. We've done it. It was so hectic. I almost died along the way, and I'll get to that part. Actually, I don't even think I'll get to that part if I'm spending this much time on the first slide. So I want to tell you guys about this story. Listen to this. The first versions of Pow Vista were a little bit disappointing, okay? I reached out to scores of developers with a doc where I asked, please, make the most basic version of Pow Vista that you can. I wanted to just be a character that you can enter the world as and walk around and see other people. That's all I'd like, please. And I hate to say it, but this, what we're looking at right now, this is actually way better than what I got back from everybody. This is actually like a month into development. I know, it's sad. But listen, building a game is a little bit harder than you might think it is. especially when you have no development experience. But I was working with someone with development experience, and I was very fortunate to. And to this day, if you join our Discord, you can see this absolute legend just chilling up at the top. His name is Servers Offline. He is our lead dev, and he plays an integral part of the story because he has been with us since the beginning. He's been the hands and feet, pedaling the pedals, typing the code to create Pow Vista since the beginning. And here is one of the early versions of the game. So when I contacted these scores of developers, it's not even close. Like, no one else even ended up making an actual version of the game. Everyone just wanted to ask clarifying questions. They wanted to make excuses and talk about how it would cost $30,000 just to get this basic version where you're walking around on the screen up. But one person was willing to do it for literally 1/1000th of that price to get the basic version of the game going, just to show me they had what it took. And I'm so glad that I believe God put us on the computer on that same day at that same time for this all to line up to where we met each other. Like this is like on the level of like, I'm so, like, if I had to choose between having never met my wife or having never met my developer, I'm sorry, Servers Offline, I would still choose my wife over you. But you're on that level, bro. Like, you are on that level, and I'm just so thankful for you. All right, and you guys will hear on later if you stay till the end. I don't know if I'm even gonna make it to the story, but stay till the end. You'll hear how this man literally saved my life. No, he didn't save my life, but he gave me well wishes that helped me recover from an illness. But anyway, I want you guys to keep this image in mind, because this is what was on the phone, okay? Imagine looking at this and having a vision for this grand game that hundreds of and thousands and millions of people play, and all you got is this Pokemon at home, you know, glitchy mess, but at least you can see another player. Okay. Let's look at this. The date is May 11th, 2021. That's now almost 3 years ago. And this is already like a month into development. And this is the whiteboard in my office. I found this image on my camera roll. Apparently, I had some big plans here. After being at this stage, I think I was thinking the 3 big things that we need to get into the game ASAP are chat. Dude, chat is like just so underrated. I feel like people don't realize how underrated chat is. Inventory bank UI, which that's obviously at this stage was the hardest thing. And then combat. Actually, you know what? I'm going to back up. Combat would be the hardest one. But these are the 3 big things I need to get in, and they were so big, they felt like they were too much to chew. But let's keep track of the dates here, okay? This is May 11th, 2021. I think it's not going to be very long from now that things are starting to shape up. Okay. So as we continue here, this is my idea for combat, by the way, and I think I made this around this time. I had a screen recording mock-up type thing where this is what I want combat to look like, okay? This is what's in my brain. This is what I dream up for the ideal combat, because everyone's wondering, how's skateboarding and combat going to work? Well, here was my idea from the very beginning, okay? I had this concept. The problem was we had so many like lag issues and latency issues that there was no way that the game was going to be able to handle combat like what I had envisioned in its current form. So it was going to be a long process of bug fixing and network code understanding and just getting better at this as my lead dev and I worked on this game. So yeah, it was a long road ahead. So let's just put it that way. Okay, so we did chat. We started with chat, okay? Check this out. I sent a chat message. There it is. You see it? Boom. Had to go with the RuneScape yellow text. I don't think we're ever going to change that, okay? It just has a personal significance to me. Even though, I mean, Surprisingly, you might think like when you see the damage numbers and the health bars later on in some of these other screenshots, you might think like, oh, I bet all your players play RuneScape. But I think it's like 5% of the players have ever even heard of RuneScape. Like RuneScape is like the least popular game for anyone under 20 years old. Like as many of you know, I'm a lo-fi artist with millions of listeners, and I go into my YouTube live stream chat one time, and this is actually before I even started Pow Vista, and this might even be why I started Pow Vista. It might be like some kind of like subconscious thing, but I go into my live stream chat and I literally ask, does anyone here play RuneScape? And there's hundreds of people in this chat, and they're all actively typing, and not a single person had ever even heard of RuneScape. So it's like, bro, that game is dying, literally. The sad truth is that game's dying out. I love it. I love it because it's something that's precious to me, but maybe that unlocks something in my subconscious of, I need to make the next RuneScape for my children, for Gen Alpha. I need to make Gen Alpha RuneScape. Anyway, so I have a screen recording here of me entering and exiting buildings. It's another important feature that, you have to build in. You never really think about, like, when you're in Pokemon, what's actually triggering, like what tile you're stepping on that actually makes you enter or exit a building. I don't even know how much of that is interesting enough to share with you guys, but that's what I have here in the log. And then after that, wow, this is just fast forwards through the absolute turmoil, blood, sweat, and tears it took to create this inventory system, dude. It looks basic, right? Like, oh, I can walk on a skateboard to pick it up, I guess. Looks super basic, but here we are. We've got the scrolling inventory. Let me tell you a story about the inventory, by the way. If you're wondering why we have like a little inventory bar, a lot of people have compared it to like the Minecraft hotbar, or like Roblox also has a lot of games with hotbars. But I wish I would have thought of that when I designed this, because that's a much better system than what we have. What I have is a 20 slot inventory that you have to scroll through. And my design reference was not another video game, but it was Instagram stories. So you know how on Instagram stories, it's kind of like an infinite scroll to the left. You can like throw your friends over to the left and see all the stories. That was my mind of like, okay, that's going to be the UI for the inventory. Like you're like looking around in your stories for your friend. It's kind of like you're looking around in your inventory for your stuff. It's an interesting tidbit of knowledge that our unique inventory system where you scroll around to find your items comes from the classic Instagram stories. All right. But we had a bug with equipping the skateboard where it wasn't equipping. And look, I'm even like, for some reason I'm complaining on my archive. I'm saying even 2 days later, we still couldn't get it working. I think I was just trying to explain that if you think this is easy, it's not easy. It's going to look easy when you're scrolling down this thing that like the game just keeps getting better and better, but it's like you don't see the suffering. You don't see the caffeine consumption, the headaches, the absolute what would you call it? Like the masochism. But it's also a lot of fun. You also don't see all the fun thrills. Okay. Up next, I got to just parade myself in front of you guys as I skateboard and do a 180 off of the Euro.
Oh, perfect, dude. Oh, yeah.
So it's now 4 days, even after the last issue we were having with equipping the skateboard, and now it looks like we're having an animation bug. So that looks like we're just hammering down the truth that developing a game is hard. But let me just say something real quick. I don't want to spend any more time talking about how hard development is, because nobody cares. That's not the problem we're trying to solve. We're not trying to make games easier to develop. We're trying to make a game that means something, that is valuable, that you spend your time in the game. I'm not talking about making the game anymore. I'm talking about when you're a player of this game, Pow Vista, we want you to feel like every minute you spend devoting your attention and your effort to the game is paying off for you in long-term satisfaction and something that sticks with you. For example, getting these, everyone who's got an OG skateboard in their bank has something valuable. Everyone who has high XP for a skill and has a number one slot in the high scores, that's valuable. That's like it's like reputation value. And we want to create a community where our game is like isn't just like this meaningless grind. It's like there's something to it. We might not be at the promised land yet of having a great game like that yet, but we're on the road there. All right. So here we've got a screen recording of dropping an item. So you might think that, oh, it's so easy to program, or to even, in this case where I'm working with a developer, it's like, wow, it must be so easy to just say, yeah, make it so you can drop items. But no, like when you drop an item, you have to make sure that there's logic for like, how long does the item stay on the ground? How long before this item despawns, or does it just stay in the world infinitely? Which brings me to my next kind of design decision that we had back in the day that is no longer in Pow Vista, is this icon idea where a button pops up and it's kind of like the game Sneaky Sasquatch, which we also borrowed the backpack from, as you can see down here. But this is actually, I'm displaying a bug in this screen recording. In fact, many of the screen recordings I'm showing you are screen recordings of bugs, because that was the reason I would make the screen recordings, basically. But this button system where like a button would pop up and you press it to do an action, I mean, we still have those to this day. Those little, they're black rectangles now with the text on it that explains exactly what you're doing. We still might even refine that further, but this button thing just became too much of a hassle to deal with, so we stopped doing the button thing. But this is going to be one of a few things that we had in the game that we worked on adding in that we ultimately decided we had to kill it. I have a kind of a heartwarming picture here to share as I kind of wrap up. Looks like I'm not going to get to my near-death experience in today's video. But I guess I'll just, if you watch this far, I'm just going to share with you guys that basically I got COVID and dude, like I've never like genuinely believed like I'm going to die, versus when I had COVID, I could not even get up to go to the bathroom. Like I had to order diapers. I want you to know that that's how bad it was. Okay. Like I could not get up. I could not breathe. To get up, like I would cough so much that I couldn't breathe. It's just it was the worst sickness of my entire life. It was so bad, but I made it through. And let me just say, that's unrelated to this picture, but that was my near-death experience. And that definitely caused a lapse in development during that month that I had COVID. But let's get back to this heartwarming picture, okay? Here's my third-born child, Lily. She is so cute here. She's about 9 months old in this picture. Now she's 3 years old. And for some reason, she was at the office with me. I think this was the day of that wedding that we were doing. I saw this in my camera roll as I was scrolling down, and I thought, I'm just going to include every heartwarming, interesting, personal picture I can as I find something that's kind of like a moment in time, right? It's kind of like, this is May 28th, 2021. So this is like coming up on 2 months. Like it's even sub 2 months of development. Guys, we're going to get into the good stuff if we continue this video. Are we going to continue it? Okay, maybe we can do a few more. Check it out. We said goodbye. We said goodbye to the placeholder Pokemon sprite, and we put in Ollie, our character that was designed by Tonari Animation. Check out this like way overly produced anime character design that like has no business being in Pow Vista. In fact, this was not for Pow Vista. This character design was made for like a mascot for the Closed on Sunday brand, and we just never found a really good way. We're going to make like a lo-fi video with him skateboarding. We never had the opportunity to make that happen. But we did get an opportunity to put him into the game, and he will be in the game soon. I know he's not in the game currently, But he was in the game. You can see here, he was the main character that you played as. So here's what it looked like in the game. By the way, big shout out to our man Martin, pixel artist, also known as Frisbee Ninja. He's the one who brought these pixel sprites to life from our character. And at this stage, when everything was 2D sprites, it was essential. And we thought we were going to keep with the 2D sprites. If anyone plays Pow Vista today, you know that we moved on to full 3D. But we tried to keep that spirit of the 2D sprites as much as possible. But this was what Ollie looked like in the game. And then, of course, my daughter and my wife were like, can we please play as a girl in the game? Please let us play as a girl in the game. So we already had Ava designed for Closed on Sunday. You guys probably are familiar with the pop culture lo-fi stream, but she is the character that we ported over to Pow Vista because she is canonically Ollie's older sister. And we worked with Martin again, aka Frisbee Ninja, and Tonari Animation to bring this one to life. And Ada, my daughter, absolutely loved it. Here's a picture with her holding up the iPad with little Ava on her screen. That is so funny that we have this picture. What a great picture. Okay. I look extremely tired. And look, oh, this was so cute. I got to share this. And we can end the video here. Good job, Dad. She put, that is just so sweet. That is so If you guys knew my daughter Ada, you would know that that is so her. She is just such a great girl. All right. And then up next, we get damage into the game. While we were designing those characters, our lead dev got damage into the game. Combat. Basic as it was at this stage, it was the seed that would eventually sprout out into an oak tree. So I want to keep going because look, we have so much more at the bottom of the page, but we're going to have to save that for the next video, guys. Make sure you thumbs up this thing. Make sure you leave a comment. I will see you all next time. Peace out.